A little Tomcat here. A Trek. This is one of the best bikes that Trek have ever. They actually made this bike. Trek, back when Trek made bikes. Now Trek are like me. They are resellers of Asian product. Nothing wrong with that. Just is what it is. This is the Trek 5000 series, an iconic bike. This is got a bit of story to it. We've got some wheels over here. There's another story over here. You go watch this whole video. You'll learn. Oh, I just swallowed a fruit fly. Dura-Ace 7700 group set. This group set was designed for the dopers, all right? For Pantani, Varonk, Lance, yeah, the greats of cycling. I almost got this. Oh my god, this fruit flies in my throat. Okay, take two. Damn, fruit fly almost dropped me. This group set is incredible. 9-speed. You can still get spare parts for it. You're always going to get spare parts for this. 9-speed chains are really good because they shift so well and they're so strong, and the spacings in the cassette, it's just designed really good. Obviously, this is not really a full super epic Everesting climbing spec. It's got a little corn cob cassette on there, but it's great for crits, flats, and if you're a fast climber up most climbs. The derailleurs weren't really good. If you want to, these are compatible. This is a 7700 9-speed derailleur. It's compatible with any 9-speed Shimano derailleur. So if you want to put an XDR 9-speed on there, it'll work. If you want to run a 36 cassette in the back, 9-speed, it'll work. You know, it's got BSA in there, so you could run. You put an e-bike on this bike. It's just such a pragmatic bike. You know, it works great. You know, bolt-on derailleur hanger on the front there. The Achilles heel of these bikes was this. It's not really user replaceable derailleur hanger. If this snaps, which is very unlikely because it's super strong, you do have to pull that out and rebond it. So that's the only negative of these bikes. You know, proprietary hanger, which you can still get them parts for a bit harder. Maverick Series Gen 1, if you know, you know. This is back when they used to make them in France versus Romania, and just nothing wrong with Romania, but you know, just yeah, back in the day. Now, this bike cost me $550 Australian off a guy who just bought it for his daughter, and she never rode it, and then just sat around. And Thompson Post, that's one of my saddles on there. It's just, you know, it's got that carbon, so you can see where the joins are. It's just a beautiful bike to ride. And the shifters, these 9-speed shifters, if you know, you know. It's just, yeah, it works so good. All right, it's just and look at that scalloping. They're very comfortable. The 7800 lift shifters are probably a bit more comfortable, but these are still iconic and epic setup here. Beautiful bike, easy to get spare parts for, easy to service. You got the external cable, which is so easy to work on. Your gears are always perfect and lubed, because just taking these out, trimming them and lubing up the cable housings. I don't know about you, but as a bike mechanic, I really enjoy working on these bikes. Lubing the cables, and it just feels so good to do. It's very meditative behavior. Got an OCLV carbon 110 fork, and this is a standard 1.1" headset, easy to get bearings for, easy to work on, easy to grease, easy to service. Just this bike is just easy, all right? It's like the perfect wife, just non-combative, compliant, gets the job done, rides great, and it's motivating to ride, absolutely motivating to ride. So if you're after a bike like this, join my coaching group, and we can hook you up with something like this. Anywhere in the world you are, we can hook you up. I can tell you how to find these deals, where to find them, etc. They are existing everywhere around the world. Philippines, Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Canada. These Trek 5000 series, there's a few 100,000 of them out there, okay? Let's talk about these wheels. Got these wheels off a local lad who, he was I think he was a triathlete or something, and he upgraded to road disc. And just a bit of banter in this video, no hate to anyone, but it's a DT Swiss 350 hubs, work really good. Like, the bearings are super great, and free hub body's fine. Front hub bearings fantastic. Braking surface on here. These wheels, they haven't done much at all. Just a, you know, OEM Chinese sort of rim. I think these are from Light Carbon or something like that. There's a rattle in there from, hear that? That's just one, a little bit of resonance just in there, so I have to fish it out. But the guy who sold them to me, he thought that was unsafe, and he's like, okay, do them cheap. So I got them for about, I think it was $150 Australian, something like that, something, you know, very affordable. And I said to him, it's just a rattle. He goes, no, I don't trust it. So, okay, no worries. But he was good, he was transparent about it. So $150, and he had bought just recently an SL7 S-Works. And I was like, oh, gee, you got one of those. And, I just had 2 of those. I sold them. One of them stayed in the box. So I didn't even build it up because it was that average. And he looked at me like I was just fucking absolutely crazy, And I was just thinking, man, this is what we're talking about today. It's just people out there just so easily robbed by these $200 wax chain marketers, corporate types out there. It's very, very interesting. But yeah. Okay, so it's like that, isn't it? It makes me laugh, and at the same time, it gives me a lot of despair that people out there are just so easily conned and fooled for their worse and for other people's monetary gain or social gain. It's like, it's really, it's like, man, I'm like, you just got scammed, bro. You got scammed, So you can literally get a Tour de France winning bike for around $500 Australian with throwing some carbon wheels. We're talking $650, $700 Australian. If you put in the work and you got someone like me saying yes, get that one, or no, don't get that one, because there's a lot of secondhand stuff out there that's stolen, cracked, crashed, damaged, dangerous, stolen or dangerous. Okay, I don't recommend either of those 2 things. Okay, and I can help you find. I mean, stolen's a bit hard to prove because if it's been sold through 5 or 10 different people, you don't know its origins, or at some point it was stolen in the line there. But in terms of dangerous stuff, that's a lot easier to determine. That if you're an experienced mechanic like me, or I should say that I'm more an experienced salesperson. I've been selling bikes since 2003 when I first worked in the bike shop, and I've also been selling privately just as a passion and hobby on the side since. So, and I work on bikes every single day. I really, really enjoy it, and I enjoy that mechanical side. And bikes like this are just so easy to learn. If you want to learn bike mechanics, which I think everybody should learn how to fix a bike, bikes like this, these are real road bikes. These are bikes that are designed for the Tour de France, designed for the dopers of the dopers, designed for the insane mutant watts. Lance Armstrong, juiced to the fucking gills, man. Pumping French strippers, next day jumping on the bike and ripping up outdoors on this exact model frame, all right? He didn't ride a custom bike. He rode stock, off the shelf, off the peg from Wisconsin, man. The 5,000 tracks. Like, he's riding stock shit. A lot of these new bikes like SL7s, the specialized riders don't ride stock frames, okay? They ride custom built specialized bikes, okay? Frames, I should say. Frames and forks. Sagan doesn't ride stock. He rides off the peg, all right? In terms of, not off the peg, like, exclusive. Like the SL7 S-Works, the average dentist rides, or what I had. No. The pros don't ride that. They ride special carbon layer, special made for, okay? With a sleeve in there for your extra stiffness and reinforcement. But Lance rode this exact, you know what I mean? The same workers who made that frame there would have made Lances and the US Postal Team bikes, okay? So it's same carbon, same mold, same shit. Just high performance. But in 2023, it's like, you've got a 5,000 here. But back 20 years ago, this was the fucking G-bike, a top G-bike. And for me, it still is today. Like, I've ridden this, I've ridden the disc brake Madones, and they just fucking... I mean, the new bikes are more like artistic and futuristic in some sort of like abstract fashion. You get that. But in terms of ride quality, they're fucking terrible. Unless you're doing gravel races on them. And the travel with them and the maintenance and the expense, and it's like, oh, but the disc brakes save my rims, and it's like, dude, look how much rim brakes cost. I've got a set of carbon clinchers for $150. That's one and a half Dura-Ace rotors. Okay, don't talk to me that they tell me that disc brakes more affordable and better long term. It's not. All right, how many rims have I worn out in my lifetime? I think maybe 2. Okay, so it's like, clean your pads, fish out the little metal parts of your pad, and you're good to go. It's going to last you a long time. Maintain your bike properly, and it's going to last you a lot